Good morning, my name is Gavin Jackson. I'm an engineer with the Oviedo Fire Department. We're in Oviedo, Florida, just north of Orlando. We're here in Appleton today to do the final inspection on our new Impel pumper going to our Fire Station 48. Starting at the cab, it's your standard driver's seat for most fire engines. Nothing too fancy up here, it's pretty straightforward. We'll move on to the cab. So we did one rear-facing seat here. We have a large storage box in the center with two forward-facing seats on either side, and then a large storage in the center. Moving on to our pump panel, we changed things up. This is the first engine we've done with this design overall, but with this pump panel we went with vertical levers. It looks for a clean look. Everything's a little bit more streamlined than your typical pump panel. We also went to one crosslay here. The idea with this platform going forward with our next engines is to deploy our pre-connects off the back. So when we get to the back of the engine, we'll see a lower hose bed and how that works out. Go in our engineer's compartment here. Like I said, this is a completely different design for our department. We've gone with a toolbox here to store all of our appliances. Above that is a space for the driver engineer to store their turnout gear. And then here is extra storage for extra hoses and other fire appliances and equipment. Moving on to this compartment, it's just your typical pull out, tilt down, and extra storage equipment here on the side. Moving to this compartment, we're going to store our saws, portable generator, smoke ejector fan, a couple other loose items in this compartment. Coming around to the back of the truck, this is the working platform. So we've got everything on this truck was piped for 2.5-inch hose, and we'll reduce it down later. But we've got 3 pre-connected ports here, or discharges. We're gonna have our 1 3/4 and 2.5 back here. And then up top we have dead lay storage for 2.5-inch line, and then storage for our mercury nozzle up top. But we built this way to bring it down to an easy height to be grabbed without having to climb on the truck. So our firefighters will be able to come here and deploy lines easily without having to climb up top. We've had trucks in the past where it was more difficult to reach equipment, reach lines, and get things deployed because of having to step up high, but this is down low. It's more ergonomic. Let's come into the officer side. We carry a full set of extrication equipment on engine 48, and with this layout here, we have a pull-out pegboard. We'll be able to store struts and extrication equipment on either side of this tool board. In addition to the extrication equipment, we'll be able to store our cribbing here. So we have power supply to the top of this compartment. We'll be able to store batteries and battery chargers, so we'll be able to keep all of that stuff in one place on the truck. Currently, we have things a little bit more spread out, but this condenses these things into one compartment, kind of a home for all of that equipment in one spot. Something that I didn't touch on the other side is we did the bifold doors on these compartments. It was a recommendation from some of the Pierce representatives to do bifolds for this door. You have a flat line when that door is open if it's the single vertical door. Just a point to put out there. But on this side, this will be a compartment for forcible entry. We have a swing out tool board here. Comes all the way out and locks, but it's full height, full depth. So the point with this engine is that we won't be hurting for space. It was a major thing that we were looking to do, was have enough space for all of our equipment with this engine. Coming to this compartment, again, full height, full depth. We're gonna store long handle tools, so shovels, brooms, water key, other items like that. And then with the expansion of some of our extrication capabilities, we'll be able to store more cribbing possibly in the left side of this compartment. We went with a traditional ladder rack, so it's hydraulic and rests above the hose bed. Another interesting point that we were trying to make with this truck was to keep the wheelbase short, 197 inches. So coming to this side of the cab, on the firefighter seat, we're a full ALS department. One of the main things we want to do is get our EMS equipment off the body of the truck. Traditionally, we carried it in the compartment that rests over the exhaust. So we went with the interior cab that has an exterior door, and we're going to keep our EMS equipment here. Something we incorporated too is we've had interior cab compartments in the past that have roll-up doors or swing doors. We went with the netting this time with the quick release pull down. So we can close this door, and you'll see here we have full access. Again, not having to climb up or climb out of the engine with the equipment. You can come here, exit the vehicle, grab your EMS equipment, and take it to the call. And coming to the officer side of the cab, something that we did differently that we've never done before is we added switches for the scene lighting for the officer. Sometimes you're pulling up to a scene and the officer thinks to hit the scene lights before, has to direct the engineer to turn them on. This way it's more streamlined. That officer can go ahead and turn those lights on himself. Then coming to the front bumper, almost every discharge is plumbed 2.5 on this truck. So that includes our front discharge. The only 1.5 plumbing we have is for the single crosslay. But we did this, we're extending this to, we're increasing our capabilities to 150 feet of hose out of our bumper line. So we've got that space set here, and then the rest of it's for extraneous equipment that we've got. So we went with a full Whelen lighting package on this vehicle, with the exception of our headlights. We did get FireTech headlights, but we have a full Whelen warning and scene lighting package. It works well for our department. We're currently Whelen customers, and we're very happy with the product. We're proud to be up here in Appleton doing the final inspection on this piece of apparatus. It's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of brainstorming, a lot of legwork, a lot of long days, but we're here. We'd like to thank 10-8, our dealer, Robbie, and Robert. We'd like to thank Pierce. We'd like to thank the City of Oviedo, and we'd like to thank our Fire Chief, Chief Woodward, for allowing our committee to spec this truck and end up with this great product. We're looking forward to having a lot of years of service come out of this unit. Thanks for watching.